Chapter 4. The Signs of the Great Flood. But finding the ruins is only half the battle. The other half is explaining how they got there. How does a massive port city end up at the bottom of the ocean? For this, we must put down the ancient texts and pick up the geological charts. The coastline of Gujarat is one of the most unstable geological zones in the world. It is not solid ground, it is a shifting puzzle. Geologists have tracked the sea levels of the Indian Ocean over the last 15,000 years. We know that around 1500 BCE, and even more aggressively around 7000 BCE, there were major fluctuations in sea levels known as eustatic rise. But Dwarka's geography is unique. It sits on a fault line. The theory is not just that the water rose, but that the land fell. It's called subsidence. A massive earthquake, likely the same kind that shakes Gujarat to this day, could have caused the tectonic plate to slip. Imagine the scene. A thriving city. A massive earthquake hits. The structural integrity of the reclaimed land fails, a phenomenon we call liquefaction. The solid ground turns to soup, and in a matter of hours, the ocean rushes in to fill the void. When the Mahabharata says, the sea broke its boundary, it is describing a geological event with terrifying accuracy. This wasn't magic. It was a tectonic catastrophe that the survivors remembered for generations. Chapter 5. The Controversy. Now, as researchers, we must be honest. Not everyone agrees on the dates. And this is where the story gets complicated. While Dr. Rao believed these ruins dated back to 1500 BCE or older, some Western historians argue they are from the Middle Ages, perhaps only 14th century AD. They say the anchors are from later Arab traders. They say the walls are just eroded breakwaters. Why the disagreement? Because dating stone underwater is nearly impossible. You cannot carbon-14 date a rock. You can only date the organic material attached to it, like wood or shell. And in the turbulent waters of Dwarka, organic material is easily washed away or contaminated. However, the tri-animal seal remains the strongest counter-argument. The National Institute of Ocean Technology was conducting pollution studies in the Gulf of Khambhat, far deeper than Rao ever went. 40 meters down. Their sonar picked up a geometric anomaly. Not a wall. A city. A grid-like structure stretching for 9 kilometers. They dredged up a piece of wood from this deep side. When they sent it to labs in Hyderabad and Oxford for dating, the result was a shock. 7500 BCE. That is 9500 years ago. That is 4000 years older than the Great Pyramids. If this second, deeper site is connected to the legend of Dwarka, then human civilization is thousands of years older than our textbooks admit. Conclusion. So, what have we found? We have the walls that match the descriptions. We have the reclaimed land. We have the port anchors. We have the specific seal mentioned in the texts. Whether the ruins of the coast are 3000 years old or 9000 years old, one thing is certain. The ocean is hiding our true history. The story of Krishna's city was preserved by poets, but it has been vindicated by divers. Dwarka reminds us that we are a civilization built on the edge of the world, constantly surviving the forces of nature. It is not just a story of a god, it is a story of human resilience. The search is not over. The government has paused major excavations, but the evidence remains on the seafloor, waiting for the next generation of researchers to dive in. If you want to support this research and help us uncover more lost history, make sure you are subscribed. Next time, we look at the acoustic engineering of ancient temples.